You always have this phenomenon that you talk about called the naked mama, the naked mom. And
Mm-hmm.
I just want to start this off. You can explain it and then answer the question. But the question is, why? What does it mean when a black boy's first experience with a woman's body, chaos, and boundaries is from his own mother?
Man, I got a video example right here. What do you know?
Girls
Right.
who grew up with a naked mom are the true girls. I think that we view the world differently, and I think that we view other women differently.
That young lady proceeded to talk about if you grew up with a naked mom, you appreciate the woman body more. You a girl's girl. And I know she talking to the women, but that had the totally opposite effect on me as a young man growing up with a naked mama. My mama was a big woman. I mean, she was a fairly big woman. And I'm like, she just walk around naked all the time. To the point, I thought it was normal. Being naked was normalized in my head until I at least became like in high school. I swear to God. I never seen a naked woman until I turned 18. And it did nothing for me. It did nothing. Me and this girl, we about to hang out, do our grown people stuff. Nothing happened. Like nothing. I felt nothing. Very, very beautiful girl. Very beautiful. But being naked is normalized in my head. Like I couldn't even do nothing with the girl because being naked is normal. Like I didn't feel nothing. So I'm looking at her, the girl looking at me. She's like, what's up? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I think I'm gay because I'm like, you real pretty, but like seeing you, like you pretty, but it ain't doing nothing for me. Like right now, like when women be taking those beautiful ass pictures of them sculptures, art, like I look at a woman's body as a work of art. And art do not arouse me. Like, so whenever I look at a woman, it's like I'm looking at a painting. And like a painting do nothing for me. Like she's beautiful, but like I like words. I like words of affirmation. That gets me going.
So,
So my
you think
question:
I'll be
why
making
do
things up?
some black mothers walk around naked in front of their sons, talk to them like little grown men, call them my little man or my king, or never allowing them to really be a child? Is it projection or emotional grooming or a little bit of both?
All of it.
Mm.
I think if we believe that single mothers sexualize their daughters, they definitely do it to their sons.
Mm.
I think that the first female predator that boys encounter is those boys that's raised like that. They don't even know it. They've been so they're really being groomed,
Right.
and nobody talks about it because they don't see. I don't believe that a lot of people see the male species, the black male species, as human. Let's just
Mm.
call it what it is. You know what I'm saying? If people were treating animals the way that black men get treated as boys, Peter would be all over us.
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, when you think about it, it's that lack of protection. The it never goes away. Black men are victims of that also,
Mm.
and it starts from from a point of lack,
Mm.
and trying to, like you asked that question before, about redemption or reflection.
Mm-hmm.
It's a redemption, and in redemption is grooming, and
Right.
all because the woman fumbled. All because the woman fumbled with the relationship that she had with that particular man, and
Mm-hmm.
then because like think about it, right? If she likes that the father of her son, she grooms him. If she
Mm.
don't like him, then she raises a resentful tyrant.
She hates him. Absolutely. And I have the perfect example for that. Um, Boys in the Hood, Ricky and Doughboy's mama,
Yep.
that tells you perfectly the same thing you just said. They're dynamic. Doughboy's
Mhm.
the oldest. You know what I mean? You hate him. You don't like him. He can't do nothing right from the very beginning. All he got was you're not shit, just like your daddy. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Very disrespected as a child, and so many black mamas feel like their child don't deserve respect because I pay these bills and I do it on my own.
Baby boy.
And right. And when it's with Ricky, like you said, I feel like it was love there because he got treated a different way from the same woman. You saw the same woman soft and hard in the same house with two different children. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because of her relationship with their father.
Yep.
And I want to go into the using sons as emotional partners. How many black boys were raised to be the emotional support for their moms instead of being emotionally supported by their moms?
You know, that's the product of, I think that's reflected mostly in current dating culture, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think that a lot of the problems that women talk about they have with guys come from the same demographic. Like all of these people are raised the same way. These are the sisters and the brothers that was raised by a single mom, by and large. And that being that emotional comfort is what makes a lot of these guys pursue toxic women, because the women that they pursue remind them of their mothers.
Right.
That's just it. Just like that guy was talking about, you know, him seeing his mama naked or whatever. A lot of things are implied that he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like it could do a couple different things, right? Your mother's behavior can make you completely divest from black women altogether.
Can you repeat that? Because your mama black.
Your mama black. Your mama can behave in such a way that will turn that boy off from all black women. Because if he grows up dealing with a combative black woman that never ever finds a way to cultivate respectful communication with her son, then you're setting a template. Like everything that black women are, it comes out of the sons.
Right.
Because the women don't see themselves as getting old. Black women never see themselves as getting old.
Right.
You know, they just see themselves as younger versions of themselves the older they get. Like black women spend their life trying to be grown, and then just to live long enough to become a irresponsible adult again. They fight to become kids again, so to speak, to legitimize their immaturity. You know, I do what I want to do. You know, that nobody can check me. You know, that whole mentality. Right. Like the older they get, the less
check me, boo. Who gonna check
me? You know what I'm saying? And then we can fight about it. We can pull each other weaves out on camera. You know what I'm saying? While wearing the least amount of clothing in the worst environments.
Why do so many black mamas confide in their sons with about their love life, about struggles and heartbreaks? And then also I want to ask, is this the reason why when mama finally get a man, her son has all that anger because the boundary has been crossed since he was so young?
Yep. I mean, case in point, the movie Baby Boy explains that perfectly. Like there's been graphic think about how dysfunctional, again, entertainment is designed to capture dysfunction and imagination.
Right.
Because all of this stuff is what entertains us. You know what I'm saying? Like if you really condensed a lot of these movies that came from the 90s down to, if you had 10 to 15 minutes, it'll be a Jerry Springer episode. It'll be a Maury Povich episode. You know what I'm saying? The dysfunction that is also legitimized entertainment is rooted in truth. Because again, like we said on the other episode, a lot of the times that behavior is approved. It is authorized as the norm, because if you come from a long line of women that don't have relationships with their dads, or if their dads all been incarcerated, you're gonna have that's the only pattern that you got to go off of.
Right.
So when you run into these relationships where the sons and the mothers got too much communication about romantic life and everything, it's natural that it's not going to work when they get into another relationship, because what type of woman is attracted to a man that communicates with his mama like that? And generally speaking, it's only going to be a girl that feels like she can control the man.
Right.
and get him to do whatever he want to do. Won't tell her no because he's so busy trying to tell his mama yeah to everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why these guys end up being handymen in the family for life. And
Right.
it's a revolving door with either the streets or some type of contract labor work where they got to get paid under the table, and they never break away from the umbilical cord. You know, they've been conditioned a certain way.
And can we speak on the other side with raising a son while hating his father? Can we talk about the long-term damage of raising a black son with so much bitterness?
I think the more that you get older and you start recognizing why you need to heal and forgive your parents, it's because you know that you could really be a psycho. You could see a psycho, and they got the same like pathology.
Right.
They don't have a good relationship with their parents, mother or father, or an abusive relationship with the father, or something like that. You know, some kind of chaotic type of household, and you see where it goes. And that guy is different than the guy that loves his mama too much.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no empathy. Like the mother represents a different type of empathy. It represents someone that can be there when you scrape your knee, you know, that type of empathy, whatever.
Right.
Like, and that's what you run the risk of, you creating men that's devoid of empathy.
If a black mother hates her son's father, doesn't allow the relationship, how does that energy get passed down to her son?
So if she hates his father, how does that energy get passed to this
Yeah. Yes.
probably that like a story like DMX?
Mm.
I think that's the only way that you could just drop a kid off at a group home and just walk away
Right.
as a mother.
Mm.
Like, you wouldn't even give him to the father. Now, we don't know who the dad is. You know, I don't know that whole story or whatever completely. But chances are she probably had a baby with a man that she didn't think highly of anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because if she was low enough to go drop him off at a group home, especially after she abused him,
Right.
then that means she wasn't a great human being either by herself. Because, you know, like, again, low-level learners reproduce with low-level learners.
Right.
Low-level learners more oftentimes than not. And every now and then you get one that's going to shine through, but they burn out. They
Right.
might shine through, but they going to burn out.
Mm-hmm. Is it fair that so many black boys are paying for the price of their father's mistakes and mothers? I'm not going to leave anyone out.
I think a father's mistakes. I think both parents make mistakes. Okay, got it. But a father's mistakes, I don't know. I think that grief is a whole lot different because I always say shame sticks to men a lot differently than it does for women. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because men, you know, do a lot of pew in themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because there's the other part to that part too. Is like, think about the level of self-deletion that's always affiliated when they talk about men. They don't talk about self-deletion with nobody else but
Right.
men. Not at the same rate. And, you know, I think a lot of identity crisis goes into that factor too, because the pressure to be masculine is way different than, I can't even really put it into words for a woman to even understand it. You know what I'm saying? Because our relationships are few and far in between for the most part, unless you've done something in a community, meaning like you got a hobby or activity.
Mm-hmm.
Men don't make friends without activities.
Right. Right.
Think about that now. You know, so we have to have activities. So that grief, because I don't have a son, so I'm kind of, thinking about it, like, well, the guys that I do know and how they talk about this, what they try to overcome, they just try to set their kids up the right way, man. Like the guys I know, they got their sons in their lives, and they're not trying to get access to their kids. They got them, But I'm 46 years old too. Now, if someone was dealing with this from a maybe 25 to 35, they may be experiencing some emotional grief that they can't really even explain, but they're probably dealing with a lot of the same that their other friends are dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Like it would take somebody like DDG and Halle Bailey to be an example of that, because they're young, we're watching it. But but that parental alienation is something crazy,
I wanted to shift that into misandrous mamas, raising the men they despise. What happens when a black mama hates men, but she's raising them?
She get dropped off in a nursing home and forgot about. Because eventually, let's say the best case scenario, those guys overcome that. And let me tell you what they generally end up doing. They marry an Asian or a white lady. They make sure their kids mixed. They become passport bros. They do everything around of doing everything possible to display that they can have relationships with women without talking to black women specifically.
Right.
And then they put their mamas in nursing homes because her attitude might be untenable. And that's just off the top of my head what I think.
And I was about to say for the other boys, like you said, that's the best case scenario. For the other boys, how are these boys growing up to resent black women, avoid accountability, and destroy their own families?
They already locked up. A lot of them are raised by the same type of mothers that you just described. See, there's data that you can just go look at, what I'm saying? And it's just highly observable. They have no problem with putting it out there like that, because ain't that many different flexes a man can have. Especially because if he grows up with a mother that's like that, right? What's the probability out of 10 on a scale of 1 to 10? How often, how much on that scale would you think a man that's raised that way value women in marriage? All right, folks. Appreciate you sticking with me to the end. This has been another episode of Beyond the Algorithm. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Go get the book. And most importantly, I will see you beyond the algorithm, because that's where life actually happens.